Session 6. In the morning, the party enjoys a quick breakfast with Silda at Stonehill Inn. Westerberber receives the hat of wizardry. Bertram stays behind with Droop, while the remaining party members head to Umbridge Hill. There they find the Manticore attempting to break down the door to Adabra Gwyn's windmill home. The Manticore growled this is shaping up to be quite the feast and attacked. After defeating the Manticore, the party urged Adabra to move to Phandalin and stay safe from the dragon. Adabra informs the party she saw the dragon just a few days ago and insisted on staying because she prefers living away from wary villagers and closer to where she forages potion ingredients. Bobby threatened to kidnap Adabra, but Rice smoothed things over. Adabra wrote a letter to Townmaster Wester, promising to return if she feels unsafe, and rewarded the party with 2 potions of healing. From there, the party headed towards the nearby Sword Mountains, finding themselves at the site of ancient dwarvish ruins. There, the party met dwarf archaeologist treasure hunters Daislin and Norbus. The party warned the dwarves of the recent dragon sightings, but the dwarves had in fact seen the dragon themselves just yesterday. The dwarves offered a pair of sending stones and half of the temple's treasure to the party if they could clear out the ochre jellies inside. After a fierce struggle, the party defeated 3 ochre jellies and found some gems in the medallion. Angor identified this to be a temple honoring the evil dwarvish god of greed Abathor. Exiting the temple, the party told the dwarves that the inside was now safe, but failed to mention the treasures they found. As the dwarves went inside to continue their excavation, a tribe of savage orcs approached, exclaiming, "Looks like we need to take care of some business before we move in," and immediately drew their weapons. Session 7. The party managed to defeat the tribe of orcs at the dwarven ruins. Westerberber seemed really fixated on attacking their genitals and even managed to shoot a magic missile into one orc's urethra, causing him to explode like the Death Star. On the way back to Phandalin, the party stopped at Umbridge Hill to buy a healing potion from Adabra. While there, Bobby apologized for his behavior the last time. Back at the inn, Rice sang a song about pickle pudding for the party and Tobin Stonehill's son, Pip. The next morning, Silda looked like he regained his strength and agreed to give the party a tour of Phandalin, questioning the locals about the whereabouts of Cragmire Castle and Glasstaff. The party learned from Farmer Colleen Alderleaf that her druid friend Radith knows the region better than anyone and could be found in the ruined town of Thundertree up north. Darren Edelmath said he's heard rumors of a dark wizard in red robes east along the Tribord Trail in Old Owl, where travelers claim to have been chased by undead. After stocking up on gear, the party, accompanied by Silda, headed to Thundertree. Along the Tribord Trail, the party met a quartet of elf bards from Silvermoon, who called themselves the Silvertoons. Rice joined them for a rendition of an original song called the 7 Sisters, which tells the tale of spellcaster sisters blessed by Mester, the goddess of magic. The party camped with the Silvertoons overnight. The next day, after several hours of travel, an ogre appeared and demanded that the party turn over 1 person for him to eat. Westerberber tricked the ogre into looking the other way, and Bess magically cloaked the party, allowing them to sneak away. The next day, torrential rain forced the party to stop and search for shelter. During the storm, lightning struck a nearby tree, which fell and injured some of the party. Finding the Neverwinter River and following it east toward Neverwinter Wood, the party drew close to where Thundertree used to stand before being destroyed decades ago in the eruption of Mount Hotnau. Suddenly, a band of goblins and bugbears attacked. After defeating them, the party discovered a crudely drawn sketch of Bobby with the caption "Wanted." 100 GP for this one, with a black spider symbol underneath. Finally reaching Thunder Tree around midday, the party found a handmade wooden sign with the warning "Danger. Plant monsters and zombies. Turn back now." Session 8. The party was immediately thrust into battle in the ruined village of Thunder Tree. Zombies, covered in decades-old layers of volcanic ash from nearby Mount Hodenau, groaned and shambled their way through the streets. Just as the party was gaining the upper hand, 2 needle blights came out of a tiny cottage and joined in the fray. After eliminating the various threats, a quiet hung in the air. Bez noticed one of the cottages was locked and spotted clothes, food, and natural spell components through the window. Bobby swung his morning star and cracked the window, at which point a tall fur-balled druid came out of the house, revealing himself to be Radoth. Radoth seemed wary and asked how they knew of him. The party explained that Kellen told them to seek Radoth for help finding Cragmaw Castle. Coincidentally, Radoth knew who Angora was as well. Radoth belongs to a guild of natural protectors called the Emerald Enclave, and Angora's mentor, Andonil, turns out to be another member. Radoth urged the party to help him with a favor and scare off the young green dragon Venomfang that had recently taken residence in Thunder Tree. Radoth worried that this dragon would ambush travelers coming to and from Neverwinter as it grew older and stronger, endangering the whole Sword Coast region. After exploring the ruined shops in town and finding Mina's family heirloom, the party stayed with Radoth for the night, then formulated a plan for Baze to use the wand of pyrotechnics to lure the dragon out of its lair and ambush it. Radoth tried to magically entangle the dragon, but failed. Bez managed to succeed, however, allowing the party to attack the dragon at will. The dragon tried to bargain with the party to leave him alone in exchange for his hoard of treasure, and at one point managed to harm Bobby with poisoned breath. Bez spoke to Venomfang in Draconic, offering to cease the attack in exchange for the dragon's cooperation. Finally freeing himself from the magical vines that restrained him, Venomfang snarled a warning in Draconic. "We could have shared the treasure, but now you've made a powerful enemy instead." He then took off and flew away at a dizzying speed. The party claimed the dragon's hoard, which included Rich's magical scrolls and a magic axe inscribed with the name Hugh in Dwarvish runes. Bobby grabbed the axe and immediately had the strange sensation that the surrounding trees were suddenly afraid of him. Bez and Westerberber destroyed the former lair of Venomfang brick by brick. Session 9. Radoth congratulated the party on scaring off Venomfang the dragon. Radoth asked Bez how her entangling vines were more effective than his, and if she concentrates on anything in particular when she casts the spell. Bez said she tries to feel at one with nature, and the vines are her friends. Radoth also asked Angora how long it's been since she's seen her mentor. Angora said it's been a couple years since she set out on her own. While enjoying a nice meal and some homemade wine in Radoth's cottage, Radoth sketched a map to Cragmaw Castle, about a day's journey southeast through Neverwinter Wood. Radoth said the castle was originally a human construction that fell to ruin and became inhabited by goblins. Bobby made a disguise out of rags and beaver pelts, since the black spider has a bounty on his head. Westerberber decided that due to his size, the goblins may recognize him, and it might be safer if he stayed behind and studied Radoth's spellcasting notes. At the crack of dawn, the rest of the party headed deep into Neverwinter Wood towards Cragmaw Castle. During the trek, the party was surprised by a bearded man in a loincloth, raving about demon worshippers, before sprinting off and out of sight. As the day turned to evening, the party reached Cragmaw Castle. The party snuck through the surrounding woods, scouting the castle. Approaching a side entrance, Rice was spotted and attacked by goblin archers. The party quickly devised a plan, threw on their red brand clothes, and convinced the goblins that Rice was their prisoner. The goblins unlocked the side entrance and said they would lead the red brands and Rice to King Gruel. After walking down a narrow corridor, the party and goblins were stopped by a pair of hobgoblins who saw through the party's disguises and attacked. As the battle spilled into the next room, the party defeated the old bugbear King Gruel, as well as a doppelganger who had disguised itself as a drow woman. The party revived an unconscious Gundren and found his stolen map to Wave Echo Cave hidden under King Gruel's bed. One of the goblins unleashed a vicious owlbear that charged past the party and out the main gate. A monstrous slithering grick that had hidden in the old chapel ambushed the party. Many goblinoid reinforcements came to defeat the party, but they failed. Finally, a hush fell over the castle halls. The party seemed to be alone, at least with Gundren and the Wave Echo map in tow. Session 10. As the sun set on Cragmaw Castle, the party scoured the area and found some hidden treasures. Angora used a sending stone to let Westerburban know the party had finished a big battle and would be returning to Thundertree the next day. After reuniting at Raydot's cottage, Gundren revealed that while he was being held captive at Cragmaw Castle, he overheard the goblins saying that the Black Spider was already at Wave Echo Cave and was searching for the legendary Forge of Spells. Gundren asked the party to escort him back to Phandalin, and if Wave Echo Cave can be secured so Gundren and his brothers can mine there, the party would get a cut of the profits. Silda also invited the party to join the Lord's Alliance. One by one, the party members each swore an oath to protect the free cities of the Sword Coast and the North, and Silda bestowed unto them the rank of Cloak. The next day, the party hit the road towards Phandalin. They first encountered a handsome dwarf named Pierre, who sold them some delicious pies. Then they met a beautiful blonde woman named Judy, who had set up camp at the side of the road. Bez sampled Judy's pie as well. On the second day of travel, the party came face to face with the fearsome white dragon that had been spotted across the region. The party managed to hide, and Bez created a distraction using magic. Before flying off, the dragon lashed out blindly with its icy breath, harming the party. The third day, the party was attacked by the same ogre that wanted to eat them days earlier, but the party managed to kill him. Back in Phandalin, the party bought some supplies and sold some loot. Doblin Stonehill informed the party that poor Myrna, who had recently been rescued by the party from Red Brands, was carried off by the White Dragon shortly after the party left town days ago. Rice kindly took pity and left a small golden statue for Myrna's orphaned teenage children. Close to midnight, Gundren knocked on the inn room occupied by Angora and Bez, looking for the map to Wave Echo Cave. Bez opened the door and showed him the map, but kept it out of reach as Gundren reached for it. Angora realized Gundren seemed to be under the power of a spell, and tried to get Silda, but his door was locked and he would not respond, and it sounded like a scuffle was happening inside. Westerburbo was able to use his magic to break the spell on Gundren, who seemed confused like a sleepwalker being awoken. A drunk, naked Bobby stumbled into the hall and splintered the door with his axe. The party spotted a drow woman in black and red robes, holding a long staff with a black spider at the end, standing on the outside wall of the inn at an impossible angle. While peering through the window, she was accompanied by two giant spiders. Sildar was lying motionless in his bed, covered in webs. As the party rushed in to fight, the drow woman turned invisible, and footsteps could be heard down the outside of the inn and into the street. The party defeated the spiders, but were too late to save Sildar, who appeared to be wounded from multiple spider bites and magic missile burns. Angora tried feeding Sildar a good berry to no effect. Rice tried casting cure wounds, but instead of the usual warming aura radiating from his target, all he felt was cold death.